Okay, so picture this. A document lands on the desk of a brand new US president. And it's not about the economy, it's not about foreign policy. It claims to hold the key to solving pretty much everything: pollution, poverty, war, all by revealing one single gigantic secret. Today, we're going to dive deep and unpack the absolutely incredible claims made in this very document.
So the very first thing you see in this briefing is this heavy quote from Robert F. Kennedy. Now, this isn't just some fancy intro. It's a deliberate choice, right? It's framing the entire document not as a memo, but as a challenge, a call for some serious moral guts at the highest possible level of power.
All right, so what was this thing exactly? Well, it was sent just 3 days after the 2009 inauguration, and it basically presented an unbelievable choice. It laid out a secret history and a potential future that reads like something straight out of science fiction, but it was presented as urgent political fact. So, let's open the file.
Okay, first things first. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the document itself. Who wrote it, and man, what was its absolutely wild central claim?
This was a special presidential briefing from Dr. Stephen M. Greer of the Disclosure Project. And its core claim, this is just staggering. It says that for over 50 years, a powerful secret group has been managing all things extraterrestrial completely off the books. No presidential oversight, no congressional oversight, nothing. And it calls this a grave and ongoing threat to global security.
So, starting with that bombshell, the briefing digs right into what it calls an unacknowledged crisis. And yeah, it's all about this secret power structure that has supposedly been pulling the strings for decades.
And right at the heart of this supposed crisis is a shadowy group the document calls MJ-12, or the Majestic Group. It's described as this secret transnational entity, kind of like a government within a government, that holds all the cards, operates completely above the law, and answers to absolutely no one.
So you gotta be asking, where does the money for something this huge come from? Well, the briefing claims there's an annual black budget of up to $100 billion, just siphoned away from the US government. To put that in perspective, the document itself points out that's enough cash to give every single person in America universal health care. It's a truly insane amount of money.
But okay, if all this is true, how on earth could it stay secret for so long? The document lays out a whole strategy. You've got orchestrated public ridicule to make anyone who talks about it sound nuts. You've got fear and intimidation for those who get too close. Then there are huge disinformation campaigns to muddy the waters. And get this, they even talk about security bubbles designed to keep presidents themselves from ever getting the real story.
Now, here's the thing. The document argues this secrecy isn't just about hiding visitors from other worlds. It claims the real secret, the big one, is the revolutionary technology that's being kept under wraps because of it.
This is where they lay out this really stark choice. On one side, you have our reality. Oil, gas, nuclear. It's polluting, it's centralized, and it causes global conflict. But on the other side, they describe this alternative. Technologies that can tap into the zero-point energy field, essentially pulling limitless, clean energy right out of the fabric of space itself. And this, the briefing claims, is the foundation for a whole new era of peace and abundance.
And that really gets to the core of it, doesn't it? The stakes being presented here are just astronomical. This isn't just a UFO story anymore. The document is arguing that releasing these sciences could literally be the silver bullet for our biggest problems: global warming, poverty, you name it. It's the key to a completely new kind of civilization.
But just when you're thinking about this amazing, hopeful future, the document takes a really dark turn. It issues a massive warning about a potential deception, a deception so big it would fool the entire planet.
And it all boils down to this really provocative question. The briefing raises the idea of a false flag event. Now, if you're not familiar, a false flag is when you stage an attack and blame it on someone else to achieve a political goal. And in this case, the scenario is a faked alien invasion, an attack that is entirely man-made.
And this is where it gets really wild. The document claims this secret group has everything it needs to pull this off. First, alien reproduction vehicles, ARVs. Think human-made craft that can fly just like the real thing. Second, programmed life forms, or PLFs, basically synthetic, lab-grown alien bodies to be recovered at the crash sites. And finally, advanced stagecraft, all the holographic and psychological tech you'd need to sell the lie to the entire world.
So, why? What could possibly be the motive for something so insane? Well,
The briefing is very explicit. The whole point would be to create a terrifying new enemy from space. That kind of threat would unite the world in fear, right? And it would justify a new era of global military power and, crucially, the weaponization of space.
After laying out that dire warning, the briefing shifts gears one last time. It doesn't just present this nightmare scenario, it actually offers the president a detailed step-by-step solution, a roadmap to peaceful disclosure. And the plan they lay out is remarkably direct. Step 1, appoint a task force to go in and take back executive control of these rogue projects. Step 2, immediately order a stand-down of any operations targeting ET vehicles or trying to put weapons in space. Step 3 is the big one. Start funding and carefully releasing these new energy technologies to the world. And finally, Step 4, create a new council for peaceful, non-militarized interplanetary relations.
The briefing wraps up its recommendations with this classic Einstein quote, and it really summarizes their whole philosophy. The argument is that the old way of thinking, secrecy, fear, conflict, it just can't solve this problem. It's going to take a fundamental shift in how we see ourselves and our place in the universe.
So, in the end, this document presented a fork in the road of monumental proportions. You can either continue with decades of secrecy and all the risks that come with it, or you can step into a radical and kind of scary new reality. It really leaves us all with a question that hangs in the air long after you're done reading. On a planetary scale, what is the true cost of a secret this big?